I'm sure you've heard about the devastating Tonga volcano explosion that occurred in early 2022. The eruption was the largest we have experienced in the 21st century, and it literally sent shockwaves across the entire world. But you'd be surprised to find out that this was not some rare occurrence, and that there are even more devastating eruptions that have taken place in recent history. In 2018, another supermassive underwater volcano decided to erupt off the coast of France's Mayotte Island, and the results were mind-blowing. Seismometers all over the world picked up unexplained rumbles coming from a normally peaceful location in the Indian Ocean between Comoros and Madagascar. The discovery of a 2,690-foot tall underwater volcano, twice the height of the Empire State Building and nearly 1.5 times the height of One World Trade Center in New York, left scientists stunned. It was a major magmatic event that created over 11,000 measurable earthquakes. The deformation of the seafloor caused by the event was so great that it was felt across the globe. So what is causing these volcanoes to erupt so violently? In this video, we are going to take a deep dive into the underwater supermassive volcanoes that continue to wreak havoc on the world. Make sure to stay until the end because you don't want to miss this. Mayotte, a small island and French colony between Madagascar and Mozambique, was shaken by more than 11,000 earthquakes between May 2018 and May 2021. The most intense earthquake was a magnitude 5.9, but there were also unusual seismic hums or very low-frequency earthquakes that began deep down and were detected by seismometers all over the world. Scientists researching the seismic event concluded that it was a massive underwater volcanic eruption that no one had ever seen before. A team of scientists led by Nathalie Fouillet, a geophysicist at the University of Paris, deployed a variety of technological devices such as underwater seismometers to try to pinpoint where the earthquakes were coming from. They also utilized an echo sounder to explore the area, which used radar signals to uncover the 2,690-foot tall volcano. The scientists discovered roughly 17,000 seismic events between the end of February and the beginning of May 2019 at a depth of between 12 and 31 miles beneath the ocean floor, which is deeper than most earthquakes. They also discovered 84 more occurrences when they searched at lower frequencies. The crew was able to piece together the circumstances that led to the formation of the new volcano thanks to the data they gathered. They believe that the tectonic plate movement tore the crust apart, allowing magma to rise to the surface and form geologic dikes, which are rocks that fill larger gaps and cut through surrounding rock layers. This enabled magma reservoirs beneath this layer to rise to the top layers, as well as reactivating faults already present in the mantle. They were responsible for the earthquakes, which resulted in magma flowing to the sea floor, where it erupted, resulting in the creation of a cubic mile of lava and the formation of a new volcano. What's more, this new submarine volcano draws from the deepest volcanic magma pool known to geologists. The reservoir where the magma originates is located at a depth of approximately 34 miles or 55 kilometers beneath the surface. Volcanology has never before seen such a deep reservoir at the base of the lithosphere, which is the outer shell of the Earth that includes the upper mantle and the crust. The earthquakes were still occurring in May 2021, and the region's seafloor continued to deform. Beyond the formation of a new volcano, the occurrence marks the first measurement of earthquakes off the coast of the French island since 1972, and most recent volcanic activity in the area dates back between 4,000 and 6,000 years ago. Scientists predict that a new caldera collapse, higher slope undersea eruptions, or onshore eruptions are all possibilities in the future. Of course, this isn't the first time an underwater volcano erupted. The Krakatau disaster in Indonesia in 1883 was one of the deadliest occurrences of a volcano causing a tsunami in modern history. When the volcano erupted into the water, it unleashed a tsunami that was more than 120 feet tall, large enough to submerge a 6-story skyscraper. It obliterated 300 cities and villages, killing almost 36,000 people. It is commonly accepted that the catastrophic tsunami in Krakatau was caused in part by the collapse of the caldera. But we don't even need to go that far back in history to revisit the most recent supermassive underwater volcano eruption. The Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai volcanic eruption that wreaked havoc on Tonga on January the 15th lasted only 11 hours, but it will take years for experts to figure out exactly what happened and what it means for future volcanic threats. The underwater Tongan eruption resulted not only in a tsunami, a sonic boom, and thousands of lightning bolts, but it may also result in acid rain. The Tongan volcano ejected a plume of ash into the high atmosphere and created a tsunami that wiped out dwellings on Tonga's neighboring islands. The eruption's reverberations echoed throughout the world several times. Researchers believe the eruption may have been the greatest in the globe for 30 years, with entire communities buried in ash or seriously destroyed by the tsunami. More than 100,000 people in Tonga have been impacted directly or indirectly by the eruption, with at least 3 dead. Unfortunately, earthquakes continue to rock the area, and the threat of volcanic eruptions is not over. According to preliminary investigations of ash from the eruption, it was found that the eruption was fueled by a new batch of magma emerging from deep under the earth. It's possible that the disaster was simply a warm-up. Atmospheric shockwaves blasted out at close to the speed of sound following the eruption. The blast power was calculated by NASA to be 10 megatons, which is more powerful than a nuclear weapon. Even the National Weather Service in the United Kingdom reported that it produced changes in air pressure in the country. Experts say we could be in for several weeks, if not years, of major volcanic activity. All clues point to the caldera of the volcano, which is a vast hole formed when a volcano erupts and collapses. It's as though the slumbering beast lying in the shadows has awoken. Experts now believe that these tiny but devastating eruptions are the magma system gently recharging itself in preparation for a large event based on the chemistry of previous eruptions. Technically, Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai is an underwater volcano. However, it's made up of 2 small deserted islands, Hunga Hapai and Hunga Tonga. Pre-eruption, its cone was only 300 feet above the surface, but beneath the waves was a giant volcano that was around 5,900 feet high and 12 miles wide. Underwater volcano systems are the most productive on the planet. They produce magma and lava, which form the boundaries of new oceanic plates and provide heat and chemicals to some of the world's most peculiar and rare organisms. The majority of submarine explosions take place beneath the ocean's surface, resulting in lava flowing down the ocean's bottom. Hundreds of islands have been formed by volcanoes all over the world, from the Asia-Pacific to Iceland. There are more than 1 million underwater volcanoes estimated on the Pacific Ocean's floor. At least 75,000 of these submerged volcanoes rise to the height of 1 kilometer above sea level. The silver lining to these dark clouds is that many of these volcanoes have erupted and are no longer active. So, how many active volcanoes do we have on this planet? There are around 1,350 potentially active volcanoes in the world, with 161 of them in the United States and its territories. Everyone is wondering what Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai will do next. This is the most pressing issue. Experts from around the world are helping the Tonga Geological Services assess the risk and decide what action to take. It is possible that the eruption will stop, continue at a low level, or another major blow could occur. Whatever the immediate future holds for this volcano, volcanologists are now reconsidering the dangers of underwater volcanoes more broadly as a result of this eruption. The Tongan eruption that cracked the Earth serves as a sharp reminder that these types of volcanoes exist, represent a threat, and are understudied. You might be asking yourself, what is causing all of these supermassive volcano eruptions? The Pacific Ring of Fire, which includes several of the world's most active volcanoes, includes the Tonga volcano, which has erupted several times in recent years. The Pacific Ring of Fire stretches in a horseshoe shape from South America's southern tip to North America's west coast over the Bering Strait, down through Japan and into New Zealand. It's where the Pacific Plate collides with a slew of other tectonic plates. It's been called the world's most seismically and volcanically active zone. Around 75% of the world's active volcanoes are located inside the Ring of Fire, which is also the epicenter of 90% of all earthquakes. The 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines was one of the most noteworthy rings of fire eruptions in the 20th century, sending fine ash and gases high into the stratosphere and creating a massive volcanic cloud that floated around the world. As a result of this eruption, temperatures around the planet were lower than usual, and the sunsets and sunrises were spectacular. The Ring of Fire was also home to the world's most violent earthquake, a 9.5 magnitude quake that struck Valdivia, Chile on May 22, 1960. Over 1,600 people died, many of them as a result of the massive tsunamis that surged from Chile to the Pacific and the United States. The earthquake triggered a tsunami which killed 61 people and caused extensive damage in the state of Hawaii. At this point, all we can really do is hope another supermassive volcano eruption doesn't occur anytime soon. Because if one does, we already have a good idea of the magnitude of destruction it can cause. Thanks for watching another episode of Voyager. While you're still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more high-quality content. I'll see you there.